Hey friend, welcome to the Halfway to Dead podcast. I'm your host, Jen Lovell. Listen, you and I have reached that age where we are done with the bullshit. We know that midlife is our chance to flip the script and experience life on our own terms. It's time to reconnect with our higher selves and reclaim our inner peace. Are you ready with an open heart and an open mind? Awesome, you're in the right place. Hop in and ride shotgun with me on this midlife spiritual journey. Hey, I'm back. Part 2 of more spiritual red flags that nobody wants to talk about. You know me, I'm going to talk about them. So red flag number 8 is believing boundaries aren't spiritual. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. I need to forgive. I have to stay compassionate. I should really understand where they're coming from. Right? Shouldn't I be all love and light all the time? Meanwhile, you're exhausted. You're being manipulated, and you're constantly giving away your power because love without boundaries becomes self-abandonment. Compassion and distance can exist together, okay? You don't always have to be completely loving and understanding and forgiving all the time. Again, like we said before, sometimes an asshole is just an asshole. Sometimes there is no soul contract, okay? Get those boundaries in there. Setting boundaries does not mean you're not being spiritually present because compassion and distance can exist together. And I know this firsthand because several years ago, I made a difficult decision to go no contact with someone I love very much. And I still love that person very much. And I want no harm to come to that person, to be clear. But I can't have that person in my life for many reasons. Right? It's a boundary, probably the hardest boundary I've ever set in my entire 53 years, but it has allowed me to awaken and open and heal right now. Will it remain that way forever? I don't know. Again, if we're certain about all things, that's not wisdom. I'm wise enough to know things might change. That's going to bring me to this, you guys. Another red flag that's really incredibly common among women with childhood trauma. Red flag number 9, confusing trauma with intuition. Trauma often leads to hypervigilance, and hypervigilance can mimic intuition. And this was a hard one for me to look at, and it might be a hard one for you to look at too, if you've got trauma. Because many women in midlife have experienced trauma, chronic stress, emotionally unavailable relationships, caregiving responsibilities, years of putting everyone else first. I know I'm talking to you if you're listening. I know I am. Those experiences can train the nervous system to be on constant alert, making it difficult for us to distinguish fear from genuine intuition. Let's talk about this, okay? Because you can think you're incredibly intuitive, and maybe you are. You may also have a nervous system that has learned to scan for danger 24 hours a day. This is me. Hypervigilance is a state of heightened alertness. Your brain is constantly asking, is something wrong? Am I safe? Is someone upset with me? What did I miss? What's about to happen? That's survival mode. That's survival adaptation. If you've lived through trauma, emotional neglect, chronic stress, any of those things, and if you've had years of feeling responsible for everyone else's emotions, your nervous system may have learned that staying alert increases your chances of staying safe. The challenge is that this survival skill can begin to feel like intuition. They feel very similar. Why? Why do they feel so similar? Because both intuition and hypervigilance involve noticing subtle cues that other people miss. Often those of us who have trauma quickly pick up on changes in someone's tone of voice, facial expression, body language, the shifts in energy, and the tension in a room. You know what I'm talking about. People with trauma, people who've been through the shit, okay, absolutely read a room better than anyone else, okay? Me, hi, hello, Jen. The difference isn't necessarily what you notice. It's how your nervous system responds to what you notice. This is what we have to work on, these freaking messed up nervous systems. Okay, let's talk about intuition versus hypervigilance. We're going to spend a minute on this because this is a big thing. Hypervigilance feels urgent, loud, racing, fearful. Intuition feels calm, quiet, clear, curious. Intuition doesn't require immediate action. You're able to pause and think it through for a minute. Hypervigilance demands immediate action. You're going to cut a bitch. Okay? Listen, there's a difference in the feeling right there. Intuition leaves a little room for uncertainty. Hypervigilance needs certainty. You need certainty. One's going to feel grounded. intuition. The other, you're just going to feel activated. Again, you're going to feel like you got to take care of shit now when you're in hypervigilance, right? I need to let this person know right now how and why they're wrong and what I'm about to do about it. Intuition says, let me think this through. This doesn't feel right. Will saying anything do me any good at all? Or should I conserve my energy on this? Like, what's for the highest, best good for me and everybody around me right now? That's intuition. Okay. This is a hard one, girls. I mean, for me too. I'm going to give you one quick example. All right. Your friend doesn't respond to your text for like 6 hours. Okay. If you're being hypervigilant, it's going to feel like this. She's mad at me. I must have said something wrong. I should apologize. I need to fix this right now. Your heart's racing. You're replaying the conversation in your head over and over. Like, what happened here? If you stop and let it be led by intuition, you're just thinking, okay, something feels a little different. I'll wait this out. Like, I'm sure everything's fine. I'll check in on it tomorrow if I don't hear back. Okay. Notice that intuition doesn't spiral. It just observes the situation. Okay. We're not freaking out. We're not spending half our day worried about it. Okay. We'll check in tomorrow. We're not forgetting about it, but it's probably okay. Let's calm down a little bit. Also, if you walk into a room, you're going into a meeting and you notice everything feels real tense in that boardroom. Both your intuition and your hypervigilance may detect it. Hypervigilance is going to say, is this because of me? Intuition is simply going to say, something feels off. Something ain't right in this room. Hypervigilance kind of personalizes everything. Intuition simply notices that something's different, the vibe is off, and lets you think about how to handle it. Hypervigilance says, what the hell's wrong with these people in this room? Or what did I do? Let's take care of this right now. That's hypervigilance. And that's a trauma response. I'm taking a minute on it because this is a big one, you guys. When you start to get this down pat and you see this red flag and change it, things get better. Let's talk about why women experience this. Why? Because as women, we were conditioned to keep the peace, to read everyone's emotions, anticipate conflict. We're supposed to avoid upsetting people. We ignore our own needs. We don't take up space in a room. When we feel the vibe off in a room, we need to just do whatever it takes to make everyone else okay. And over time, that adaptation becomes automatic. You become incredibly skilled at reading other people, but sometimes it's at the expense of hearing yourself, hearing your own intuition. And that's a problem. Here's the twist, guys. Many highly intuitive people are also highly observant. So if you've lived through trauma, your nervous system may have developed exceptional pattern recognition. You really notice things other people miss. The question isn't whether you're perceptive. The question is whether your interpretation is being filtered through fear. Hey, that's a big one. That's a big one to handle, you guys. But we can do this. We can do hard things. Here's how to practice this. When something feels like intuition, pause. Ask, what am I noticing objectively? What story am I adding in that may not actually be existing? Does this feel peaceful or urgent? If I were afraid, how would I interpret this? Do I need to act right now or can I wait? Very important. Can I wait? Because wisdom often comes during that wait. Time is often a helpful test. Fear tends to escalate when given more time. Intuition will remain steady. It won't change. Okay. If you're getting more and more and more mad, that is probably fear, hypervigilance. If you're coming to a decision and it's staying pretty steady the whole time, like I should just leave this room and you feel calm about it, leave the room. Okay. But if you're getting more mad, more mad, more mad, like you're about ready to just take out this entire corporate boardroom, probably take a pause. Probably take a pause and dig into why you're feeling that. Give it a minute, right? Because some things you get just a little bit harder to take back than others. You guys know what I'm talking about. And another big thing with all this, and we don't have time to go into today because this is a whole episode on its own, right? Is the fact that our nervous system really matters and we've got to get that baby regulated. You know what I mean? Just briefly, deep breathing, breath work, walking, therapy, mindfulness, get yourself enough sleep at night, move, get out into nature, all the things we talk about all the time. That's how we start to regulate our nervous system. And that is going to really help with that hypervigilance because as our nervous system calms down, becomes regulated, we are able to allow our intuition to be heard more clearly. Amen. Can I get an amen? Listen, you guys, I don't think the goal is to become less intuitive. I think the goal is to become so grounded that you can finally tell the difference between the voice of fear and the voice of wisdom. One is trying to protect you from the past. The other is quietly guiding you towards your future. Learning to distinguish between the two is probably, I'm going to guess, one of the greatest spiritual lessons of all. And I have not mastered that. I'm going to admit right now, I'm still working on this one. I don't know if I'm ever going to, master it. I mean, who am I kidding? I won't. You won't. But we're going to do our best. Heck yeah, we're going to do our best. Okay, so as we're searching for wisdom, certainty versus uncertainty, there's another rabbit hole waiting, you guys. There's red flag number 10. Red flag number 10 is kind of a two-part deal. Becoming addicted to healing, and you start handing your authority away at the same time. Okay, this is another big one, you guys. This is when you have something going on, a problem, something you're trying to make a decision on. You divert straight to, my coach said this, or my healer told me this, or the guru suggested blah, blah, blah. I have my Akashic records read and my decision's not lining up with that, right? Like psychic reading, whatever. All right. I always tell you, you can do it alone, but why? Yes, absolutely. But always remember, experts are valuable, teachers are valuable, mentors, love them, but no one lives inside your body except you. If someone consistently out there tells you only they know what you need, only they can heal you, buy 12 sessions and we got this, right? Only they can interpret your experience the right way. They have the gift. You need to run from those people. They are not for you. Those aren't your people. And as you're doing all of that, that's going to lead you into a loop of you're always healing, but never living. Think about this right now. When was the last time you laughed so hard you cried? Or, midlife women peed your pants. When's the last time you danced? You played something, did something just because it brought you joy? Because sometimes our healing journey can become our identity, and we cannot let this happen. I want you to be cautious of always chasing the next spiritual thing, another retreat, another certification, a new coach, a new healer. I got to do 7 plant medicine journeys to be okay. I got to listen to 12 podcasts, and then you finish a book and you got to start a book. If you're caught in this loop, and this is literally me all the time, literally, I have to slow my roll a lot, partially because of this podcast. I'm constantly meeting new people. I'm reading new books. That's just my personality anyway. I'm listening to a new podcast. I'm going on retreats. I'm doing all the things, and I love all the things, and you should try all the things, but don't get stuck in a loop where that's your whole damn life. Okay. Because then the question is, when do we actually integrate what we learned? If we're hopping from retreat, certification, course to course, we can't possibly integrate what we're supposed to learn at each of them. So sometimes we have to just sit and be and integrate what we already know to be true. Remember, transformation happens between the retreats, between the books and the courses, not just during them. In fact, oftentimes I have had more hit me after one of these experiences than during it. So give yourself time. Sometimes we forget some of the really important stuff. So take your time, slow down, just enjoy life sometimes. We don't always have to be making progress or what we think is progress on our spiritual journey, our spiritual path. Sometimes the most progress is made when we're doing absolutely nothing spiritual. Okay, I got a couple more red flags, you guys. Number 11, believing healing means never feeling negative emotions. So there's a part during your journey where you feel like you've done enough work and you're all love and light and all this shit. And so you start to think, I shouldn't be angry about that. No, my vibration must be getting low. If I were truly awakened, I wouldn't feel this. I shouldn't be feeling grief. You're worried if you have any negative feelings at all. But real spirituality and real spiritual journeys require we feel our emotions fully. That means we need to cry. We need to get frustrated. We need to feel jealous. We have to grieve. We have to have some really hard days, and that's okay. We cannot wash right over those things. Just because you feel spiritually enlightened now and you're doing all the things does not mean you're not going to feel all the terrible, terrible emotions. Okay. I have recently had a moment of jealousy. Like I was feeling very jealous about something in particular, and I was trying to, whatever, I'll just tell you. Okay. Well, you're right. You're on this journey with me. I have been feeling very jealous of people, not just people I know, not necessarily just people in my family, my friends, but just people you see online, you don't even know them. I've been feeling very jealous of all the grandbabies out there because I love kids. Okay. And I really look forward to maybe having grandchildren someday. I don't have any, and this is not a big deal, you guys, but I felt jealous when I was seeing some of these things, and I had to stop. I had to feel the jealousy. I cried a little bit, and I had to think, what in the world? Like, why are you feeling this? But I felt it. I felt it all the way through till I got to the other side, and I was like, this is kind of silly because all of these children I'm seeing everywhere else having as grandchildren. I love them all. I think it's amazing. I feel so happy for all those people. I do not wish that anyone has any different life than they have. And I don't wish a different life for myself either. Like whatever's meant to be is going to come my way. Like chill out, Jen. Okay. But I let myself feel it. I let myself feel that jealousy for a minute. I didn't sit in it. I didn't ruminate it for real long, but I felt it. And I didn't tell myself, you shouldn't be feeling that. Like you're so enlightened, girl. You're on a spiritual awakening. Whatever's meant to be. No, bullshit. I felt jealous. I went... I felt it for a while and then I got out of it, right? Then I got out of that loop. I'm telling you that just to say that healing isn't the absence of emotion. It's learning to move through the emotion without being consumed by it, because our nervous systems don't care whether our emotion is spiritual or not. Our nervous system just knows it's an emotion and wants to process it and get rid of it. Let's help our bodies out and do that, huh? Feelings have to move, not be judged. This is going to lead to one of spirituality's favorite escape routes, and one that I've done a whole episode on, but I would be remiss not to make the big finale number 12, spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing, just for those who aren't aware and didn't listen to that episode, it's a term introduced by John Wellwood. He described it as using spiritual beliefs or practices to avoid unresolved emotional issues. So that's stuff like everything happens for a reason. Well, whatever. I guess I probably chose this before I was born. It's all part of the divine plan, love and light. And those beliefs do hold meaning. Those beliefs aren't wrong, but they should never replace real emotion and the grieving process. You can believe something has purpose while saying that hurt. That sucks, right? Sometimes instead of switching it around and telling people, oh, don't even worry. It'll all work out. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes people just need to hear, this sucks. Let me sit here in it with you. Because a lot of times what people need during this time isn't our love and light. They need validation. Sometimes they need justice. They need boundaries, therapy. They need to feel the grief. They want accountability from others. This is not our place to step in and tell ourselves or others any of this bullshit stuff about everything happening for a reason and blah, blah, blah. All right. There's a time and a place for that stuff. But when people are sitting in it, shut your mouth and sit in it with them. This is my suggestion, because healing requires honesty before you can transcend it. So you've got to sit with it. You've got to let other people sit with it. And then, and then we move on and then we work on other woo-woo spiritual things with it. But that's not where we start. That's not where we start, friends. Okay, listen, what do we do with all these red flags? We're going to need a whole nother episode for that. But let's just talk about this really quick. Let's talk about some green flags and what healthy awakening actually looks like. Let's end this on a positive note, you guys. A healthy awakening often looks like more compassion, more humor, more groundedness, taking more personal responsibility for our stuff, more flexibility, curiosity, better relationships, less fear, having a greater emotional capacity, having the ability to know you don't have it all figured out. The ability to change your mind about things, right? Because you might be wrong. You guys, you might be wrong. I might be wrong. We're all probably wrong about a lot of things. So a healthy awakening looks like knowing that and being open to being wrong and open to changing your mind. That's the whole point of this thing. You're going to start resting without guilt. You're going to start enjoying ordinary moments. You're going to be more compassionate without losing discernment. You're going to need so much less external validation. You're going to set better boundaries, which means you're going to be harder to manipulate. You're going to trust yourself more than your gurus. And again, you're going to become kinder, not more certain, but kinder. You're going to learn to laugh at yourself, okay? Because if you can't laugh at yourself, you certainly can't handle others laughing at you, right? And it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. So I laugh at myself regularly and I laugh at life a lot and other people. Sorry, I just do. Because laugh or cry, pick laugh. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. Because a real awakening usually makes your world bigger, not smaller. We're expanding. If you feel closed in, no, that's not a healthy awakening. If things are expanding, your mind, your life, everything, that's it. You're there. You're in a healthy awakening. Congrats, girls. And I'm guessing a lot of you guys you're on the right path. Okay. But I want to make you aware of these red flags because they can take you off your path really fast. Couple things I want you guys to remember. A spiritual awakening isn't measured by how many signs you receive, how many crystals you own, or how many books you've read. It does not matter how many retreats you've attended or certifications you've gained. It's measured by how you show up when life gets messy. If your spirituality has made you more compassionate, more grounded, more discerning, more present in your own life, and more authentically yourself, you are probably walking a healthy path. And let me say this, if today's episode made you feel uncomfortable, good. It made me feel uncomfortable while I was writing it. Every red flag I've talked about today, I have experienced every single one. And that's the thing about growth. We are not going to graduate from these lessons. We simply become better at noticing when we've wandered away from ourselves and gently find our way home again. Bam. That's the point. Okay. All my friends out there, until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, trust yourself a little more than the noise around you. And remember, your awakening is not about becoming someone new. It's about uncovering the woman you've always been beneath everyone else's expectations. Rewind that and listen again if you didn't hear it. Okay. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Don't worry. We're going to have more guidance on getting to the green flag zone on all this. So yeah, stay with me. See you next week. Listen, I know your time is valuable. And right now I'm feeling super grateful and totally humbled that you chose to hang out with me today. If this podcast resonates with you, could you do me a solid and hit that subscribe or follow button? That's going to help you out because you're never going to miss an episode. And it helps me out because you're never going to miss an episode. And if you have like 30 seconds more, could you leave a 5-star rating and maybe leave a kick-ass review? Thank you so much, and I can't wait to continue our journey on the next episode. Oh, and I can't forget the fine print. You know, the legal jargon. This podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. We're just two friends on this journey together, and this podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or any other qualified professional. You get it. See you next time.